How much would your life change if you knew every single time someone told you a lie? Even if that someone was you. Lies like, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you can't own a business, and you definitely will never make more than you did in your old corporate job. Get ready to be proactive, passionate, productive, and oh so profitable in a way you never before experienced by opening your eyes to the Big Fat Lies Show. Now, here is your host of Big Fat Lies, success sorceress, and entrepreneurial spiritual mentor, Jennifer Kramer-Lewis.
Oh my goodness, you guys, welcome to the Big Fat Lies Show. If you are a regular listener, I want you to smash that thumbs up button somewhere during this broadcast, wherever you are listening. Also comment and play along with the content. I use what you are regularly engaging with to build even more shows. What's the Big Fat Lies Show? If you are a brand new listener, if you've come across this broadcast, it is all about the big fat lies that are installed on our unconscious operating system, our subconscious, that is stopping us from being so happy, so healthy, so loved, and so wealthy in this lifetime. Those are the four legs of the chair. People usually come to me, have a problem in one of those four areas, and I use whatever is at my disposal to work on that. We could use anything. We could use human design. We could use astrology. We could use quantum mechanics, the quantum field. We could, go old school and use affirmations. We can also go into the health of your body, your aura, so many different things. But one of the things that is so clear to me, and that's the reason why we called this show the Big Fat Lies Show, is I'm always aware of the big fat lies that people tell themselves and are subconsciously installed in their aura, in their body, in their businesses, in their bank accounts, that are stopping them from having a truly successful, happy, switched on life. There are so many freaking lies. And so that's why I call this show the Big Fat Lies Show. Today, we're going to talk about being an empath in business, being a super sensitive person, being a person who feels other people's feelings in business. So how do you know you're an empath? Well, if you're listening, you probably are an empath. You're the type of person that walks into the room and you're like, oh my God, what the hell happened here? Or maybe you don't even have to walk into a room. Maybe you're like, ooh, get a gut punch, and then you get a text message from somebody. And I would say I have been navigating this empathic space since, a really freaking long time. I'm a lifelong psychic. I've had messages for people, in my dreams or in my conscious space for a very, very long time. And I grew up in a faith where receiving messages from spirit, receiving messages from God was actually quite a normal thing. It was kind of okay. And, so I was never poo-pooed for these messages that I received. And in fact, my family talks about, oh, I remember when you told me this thing, or I remember when you told me that thing. And I would have been 6 or 8 or 12 or something when those messages came through. So I do share those messages with my clients when they're appropriate. And, I am a very empathic person. I generally know what's going on with my clients. I generally know what's going on with my loved ones. And I also generally know what's going on in the world at large. And so really, really important, if you are a very sensitive being, if you are an empath, for you to have tips and skills and strategies and, so what if you have the talent of being an empath? It's really time for you to be able to capitalize on that skill set and not have that skill set eat you up or knock you down. So thinking about that for yourself, how many times in a week do you feel like you are eaten up or knocked down by your empathic abilities? Like, or is it like you're kind of like, God, I'm so freaking sensitive. Like, I wish I wasn't that sensitive. There was a lot of my life where I wished I wasn't that sensitive, but I was in a very fast-paced, what do you want to call it? Like, I just had so much on the go when I was in big business that I actually needed those abilities. I needed that sensitivity to be able to keep my head above water. However, I was actively at that time searching for tips and strategies on how to deal with the level of sensitivity that I do have in my body. And it's so interesting. I knew it was there. And then, my astrology confirms it. My human design confirms it. My gene keys confirm it. And, the people that I work with confirm it for me. I get messages for them all the time. And I'm not the type of person where, if you have your session with me on Monday, I'm not going to just like write it in the notebook or whatever that goes with your sessions. Oh, I was thinking about you on Thursday and this was the message that came through. Like, generally, I just message people. I'm like, and they know, like, I don't want like 16 messages back and forth, but it's like, here's something that we're going to talk about on Monday. I'm really feeling like this thing is happening for you right now. Please chew on it. And so, I'm kind of on 24/7 with my clients, and I do have a protocol for myself. And this might be something that we end up talking about, is when you have the type of body that's really on 24/7 and you're receiving messages about your loved ones, about people that you care about. And then you're also receiving messages, about people that you don't really care about. Then there needs to be a protocol for you to be able to be so sensitive and in business. So if that makes sense for you, I want to see a thumbs up wherever you are in the world. My team here at Inspired Choices Network has me on, hundreds of platforms. So it's interesting to me. It's interesting to the team to know where you are. So if there's a comment box, go ahead and play along wherever you're listening. You can also come live on Mondays at 3:00 Pacific Standard Time to join us in the studio, so you can play along. And this is actually the best way for you to receive free customized support from me, is on this live broadcast. And so, like, if you're reaching out to me on social media and asking questions about your life, great. The second best place for you to receive some customized free support from me is when this broadcast comes live. Like, when I get the recordings, they get posted inside my community. So you go to community.jenniferkramerlewis.com, community.jenniferkramerlewis.com, and join the community. And then you can engage with the content. You can ask customized questions about your life, about your business, and about being an empath and a sensitive person. Because I stand for you. Like, sensitive people are the life's blood of the planet. They are the people who will stop us from wrecking this planet, as far as I'm concerned. And so I'm not interested in disempowering people by saying, oh, well, you're too sensitive, you should probably be medicated. Like, it's so interesting. Like, I have taken probably every antidepressant known to mankind while I was in big business. I was too freaking sensitive for that type of industry. Those types of industries that I was in, I was too sensitive for it. And so back in the day, it was like, oh, don't like your life, take an antidepressant. And, so I did. And did it make my life better? No, it actually made it easier for me to tolerate things that didn't work for me. I was anesthetized, and, I was in relationships that didn't work for me. I was in jobs that didn't work for me. I was in situations that didn't work for me. And, basically anesthetizing myself with medicine, like wine o'clock, or, eating food from bags and boxes to try to stuff down the feelings that I was feeling about being in those industries. Now, do those industries have to be toxic? Absolutely not. I would say that I would love to have some conscious conversations about those industries. Absolutely. I would love to say, these are the things that I have witnessed. These are the things that I have come to realize about conscious business, about conscious mentorship, about businesses, with thousands and thousands of employees. They do have a really unique opportunity to create a culture for your business that is it's generative, it's beautiful, it's very heartfelt. There's a huge opportunity there. So if you know somebody who is a major employer who's having trouble with employee retention, who's groovy, who probably does yoga, who probably is into listening to some groovy things like podcasts like mine. If you could flick them my podcast, that would be so great. I would love to have a conversation with them. So what did I promise you today? What did I promise? I promised that we would have 5 tips to manage and grow your business, even as a deeply empathic being. And then I would present you with some dynamic framing exercises to ground your body and make sense of what your senses are showing you. So the first thing that I want to talk about is being a heartfelt being. So quite often when people go into entrepreneurship, what they look at is growing something like super freaking beautiful with their heart. And they're usually very heartfelt people. And so they've come up with like a new solution or a new technology, or, they've had a health issue and they've decided that they're going to become a naturopathic physician, or, they have a really engineering part of their brain and they're engineering new solutions for the planet, for their end users. And so I would say, as a heartfelt being and an empath, then one of the things that people tend to think that they need to do is to protect their heart. Gosh, I'm even getting kind of choked up thinking about it. So your heart is actually stronger and more resilient and has more neurons than your brain does. So we talk on the show about the 3 brains: your head, your heart, and your gut. And so being a heartfelt entrepreneur, oh my goodness, you are just, I do anything for you guys. I freaking love people who create solutions that come from the heart, and also who create heart-based communities, like, where people just feel safer when they're with you. And, regardless of what it is, like, for me, how much I love dance, and I love my studio that I dance at. And I just feel like, oh, I freaking love it there. No matter what my day's like, I love going to the dance studio. I just know that I'm going to have fun there. And, so that's what I'm talking about: a heartfelt community, or heart-based community. And so do you have to protect your heart? I would say, from my experience, the more you tap into your heart and you trust the resiliency of your heart as an empath, instead of like trying to guard it, and, you trust the intelligence of your heart not to take you into places and spaces where you will get burned out as an empath. Maybe you could even start dialoguing with your heart. So 1, trust your heart. Trust that if you are a heart-based being and you start dialoguing with your heart and not doing stuff that you feel like your heart is going to get a beating for, and start to move towards things that open up your heart, then that is where you should be. That is what you should be doing. So that's your number 1 tip. Trust your heart. Your heart is actually more intelligent than your brain. Your heart can actually take a beating. And maybe it's actually here to do that. Maybe it's like a roller coaster. Maybe it's like an adventure. Maybe your heart would like to be taken on an adventure. And so that's what I'm asking you. We are heading into the first break. After the break, we've got 4 more tips and tricks for empathic business owners to succeed in life and business. So please join us after the break.
Do you want to know what the biggest, fattest lie is in the whole world? Jennifer Kramer Lewis has discovered, after working with hundreds of conscious, heart-centered entrepreneurs, that they believe in the lie that if you work harder, smarter, and faster than everyone else, only then will you be rewarded with success. Jennifer audaciously stakes claim that what is pleasurable for you will always be your direct route to the big bucks. Jennifer knows working this hard is robbing you of your dream life. What would you say if she gave you the keys to the Ferrari called your correct energy? What would change if you had a burnout-proof business plan, a juicy switched-on energy field calibrated by correct business practices, as well as Jennifer's success sorcery, deep psychic awareness, and support? The investment for this process is 1/6 what Jennifer's VIP level clients pay. Why? Jennifer believes that once you have this information, you become limitless, and that's exactly what this planet needs more of. Choose your limitless life and business at 888.jenniferkramerlewis.com. That's 888.jenniferkramerlewis.com.
Have you ever said to yourself, I knew I shouldn't do that? How did that feel? What did you make that mean about you? Success sorceress and entrepreneurial spiritual mentor, Jennifer Kramer Lewis, stands for you being deliciously ambitious, passionately productive, oh so profitable, and creating a life that is truly delightful in every area. Tune in to Big Fat Lies, Mondays at 3 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Mountain, 5 p.m. Central, and 6 p.m. Eastern on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com to open your eyes to the big fat lies that are keeping business owners like you from being the bright, shining beacons that you came here to be.